thanks for agreeing to set up this interview. As
Sure.
you know, we only have a short amount of time, so let's go ahead and get started right away.
Sounds good.
Now, I know that you've been involved in some work on community issues. Can you tell me what attracted you to the community issue that you chose at the beginning of the semester?
Sure. I chose garbage in lakes and extended it into oceans because I feel like it's an issue that affects everyone. Polluted lake water and polluted water in general means that we're not going to have water to drink. We're not going to have water for animals like livestock and everything, which at the end of the day is going to affect just our basic human survival. And extending into oceans is just like food source. They help keep our planet cool. There's just so many factors that go into that I feel like are really important.
Okay, thank you. Now, your materials also said that you were involved in a community issue team project that focused on a call to action.
Yeah.
Can you share with me what call to action your team put forward and why you chose that call to action?
Sure. We discussed plastic in the ocean. So we mentioned things like plastic straws. We go through 500 million in the US yearly and how they get stuck in animals' noses and they eat them and they can create wads in animals' bodies that will eventually kill them because their systems no longer work. And other things like plastic bags and K-cups and pretty much anything plastic. Plastic water bottles is huge too. And we discuss ways to help reduce waste and how to obtain and utilize reusable resources. I believe it went pretty well.
I see. Now, if I were to ask the other members of your team what they think your biggest strength is, what do you think they would say, and why do you think they would say it?
Probably coordinating or leadership. At the very beginning, I was the one asking, I wanted to make sure that they all participated. So I made sure that I asked them plenty of questions to engage them in the conversation. Like, what did they think we should focus the topic on? And who kind of wanted to do which parts, because we had to do 3 different parts in a sense, pathos, logos, and ethos. So we all kind of split that up. And then one of us took the conclusion and one of us took the introduction. But ultimately, I'd say probably leadership. I made sure they were staying on task and I made sure that they were participating and they all did their own parts. And I just kind of I was the one who was kind of reaching out, making sure that there was a schedule and that we didn't really follow the schedule, but we at least had a schedule and we got everything done. And I think we did pretty well on our speech ultimately. And they really were huge contributors, and I super appreciate the fact that I got good group members that I did help and then that I did assist in helping them pulling their weight. 'Cause I feel like when I come in, sometimes I feel like I can kind of take control of the situation. So I've been trying to work on personally making sure that everyone else gets an opportunity to contribute, and I try to give them an obvious opportunity to do that.
Okay, great. What for you was the most challenging thing about working with your team?
I was a little worried because one person didn't have theirs done by 10:30 p.m. or something when the other 2 of us turned it in. And so I was a little nervous about them having their part done, but they did get it done. They put it together. They did a really great job on it and presenting it and everything. So I guess ultimately the biggest struggle I'd say as a team we had was probably time management. But ultimately, at the end, we did get it done, and maybe the crunch just helps them work better. But ultimately, I think that we did quite a good job, other than that almost little oh my goodness scare.
Thank you. Okay, last question. In 30 seconds or so, tell me what your biggest takeaway was from Com 110 this semester. What will stick with you and be useful to you?
That is a tough question. I have taken public speaking, well, not necessarily public speaking, but I've taken speaking classes before. And so I did know a little bit of this, but I did learn some new things. Like I learned what an elevator speech is, which is kind of, I think, what I'm supposed to be doing now. And I learned, or at least was reminded of some of the gestures that I do and do not do in certain speeches. And ultimately, I think that that was very helpful in my overall presentation and hopefully future presentation of myself.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Yes.
We'll probably be in touch with you in the next few weeks or so.
All right,
Take
sounds
care.
good. Thank you, you as well.